मैं हूं आशुतोष और आप देख रहे हैं सत्यहिंदी.com। सत्यहिंदी.com के खास कार्यक्रम आशुतोष की बात में आपका स्वागत है। बातचीत शुरू करने के पहले एक छोटी सी अपील। सत्यहिंदी.com एक कोशिश है ईमानदार, निडर और निर्भीक पत्रकारिता की। हम अपने लाखों दर्शकों के शुक्रगुजार हैं जो लाखों की संख्या में हमारे कार्यक्रमों को देखते हैं और हमारी हौसला अफजाई करते हैं। हम उनसे एक और छोटी सी गुजारिश करना चाहते हैं कि आप न केवल हमारे कार्यक्रम देखें बल्कि आप हमारी थोड़ी सी आर्थिक मदद भी करें। आप इस वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में जाएं, सत्य हिंदी के सदस्य बने, थोड़ा सा आर्थिक भुगतान करके हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ी मदद होगी और पत्रकारिता के लिए आपका बहुत बड़ा योगदान। और अब आज की बातचीत शुरू करते हैं। 2024 के लोकसभा चुनाव और उसके नतीजों की चर्चा जितना नतीजे आने के पहले हो रही थी उससे कहीं ज्यादा चर्चा नतीजे आने के बाद हो रही है। कई तरीके के सवाल खड़े हो रहे हैं, कई तरीके की विवेचनाएं की जा रही हैं, कई तरीके के विश्लेषण किए जा रहे हैं। लेकिन एक हकीकत यह है कि तमाम दावों के बावजूद कि नरेंद्र मोदी देश के सबसे लोकप्रिय प्रधानमंत्री हैं, तमाम दावे की 400 के पार सीटें होने वाली हैं, 370 सीटें से बीजेपी को मिलने वाली है। एग्जिट पोल ने जिस तरीके से तूफान खड़ा कर दिया, कोई भी एग्जिट पोल ये कहने को तैयार नहीं था कि बीजेपी को 350 से कम सीटें मिलने वाली हैं। उसके बावजूद बीजेपी की हालत इतनी बुरी हुई, इतनी खराब हुई कि उसको न केवल बहुमत के लाले पड़े बल्कि 240 सीट सिर्फ मिली उसको। और 240 मिलने के बाद अब बीजेपी की तरफ से दावा किया जा रहा है, देखिए बीजेपी को तो उतनी सीटें मिल गई जितनी कि सारे इंडिया गठबंधन को नहीं मिली। वो इस सवाल का जवाब नहीं देते कि अगर नरेंद्र मोदी इतने लोकप्रिय हैं तो अपने बल पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी को बहुमत का आंकड़ा क्यों नहीं छू पाई। और आज की तारीख में जो सरकार बनी है वो सरकार गठबंधन की सरकार है, गठबंधन के सहयोगियों के बल पर है। नीतीश कुमार, चंद्रबाबू नायडू, चिराग पासवान जैसे तमाम नेताओं के आश्रय पर खड़ी है। और अगर कोई राजनीति आने वाले समय में बदली तो यह सरकार 5 साल चलेगी, इसकी भी कोई गारंटी नहीं दी जा सकती है। उत्तर प्रदेश में जिस तरीके के नतीजा है वो हैरान करने वाले नतीजे। और उत्तर प्रदेश वो जगह है जहां नरेंद्र मोदी के साथ साथ योगी आदित्यनाथ भी और साथ ही साथ अयोध्या भी है। तो अयोध्या में तो बीजेपी हार गई, काशी में नरेंद्र मोदी हारते हारते बचे, सिर्फ 1.5 लाख वोटों से जीते जबकि दावा 10 लाख से ज्यादा का था। तो आइए समीक्षा करते हैं। और इस वक्त हमारे साथ हैं देश के जाने माने बुद्धिजीवी जिन्होंने कई किताबें लिखी हैं और चुनाव के पहले से लगातार कह रहे थे कि इस बार भारतीय जनता पार्टी को बहुमत नहीं मिलेगा। हम बात कर रहे हैं परकाला प्रभाकर की। आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। हाउ डू यू एनालाइज द वर्डिक्ट? व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन?
आशुतोष जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच। मैं हिंदी में ज़्यादा से मेरे को इतना फैसिलिटी नहीं है, लेकिन therefore please allow me to speak in Hindi, although yours
please
is,
go ahead in English.
आशुतोष जी, मैं this verdict to me is a very, very tight slap on the face of the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. One. The second thing is that the people of India have given a very strong warning that they are not going to tolerate India becoming a majoritarian Hindutva, Hindu Rashtra kind of a communal entity. When they found that the Republic is fast going on that track, this election, they voted to stop that kind of a journey in its tracks and pulled it back to the local. Thus far, no further. This is the second one. The third one, which I found very, very clearly, is that there is a huge amount of Modi fatigue which has set in the country. People are really fed up. People do not really, think that he's going to deliver. He's just talking and promising, and not much is being done. This is the other one. The final thing is, to me, that people wanted political parties, especially the government and the ruling party, to look at price rise, unemployment, corruption. These are the issues that we are bothered. Please look at them. Don't go on talking about things that we do not care for or which do not really matter to us. These are the lessons from this election. I think these are the messages of this election results.
Prabhakar ji, the Prime Minister has become, the Mr. Modi has become Prime Minister for third consecutive term after Nehru. Isn't it an achievement in itself?
Ashutoshi, let us see. See, the NDA alliance has elected him as the leader, and the Rashtrapati ji has invited him to form the government. He'll be probably sworn in a day or two. But the point is, will he be able to pass the floor test? That, I think, is one of the biggest obstacles or roadblocks that Mr. Modi is going to face. I'll tell you why I say so. And I won't be surprised if he fails to pass the flow test. I'll tell you why I say this also is because, you see, not a single partner in the alliance called NDA is an ideological ally of the BJP or for Mr. Narendra Modi's politics. They are transactional allies, they are real politics allies, they are contextual allies, maybe they are even opportunistic allies, but they are not bound by any ideological connect. Especially the two leaders who are going to really carry the burden of the alliance, that is Mr. Chandrababu Naidu from the south and Mr. Nitish Kumar from the north, from Bihar and from Andhra Pradesh. You see, their outlook on the communal harmony, the republic, democracy, such other things, or even Jnanavapi Temple, Mathura, or many other things, CAA, NRC, and such other things. Their attitude and Mr. Narendra Modi's attitude both are like chalk and cheese. They don't go together. So, therefore, what happens is he will have to make them sit down and convince them that he is not going to push this agenda. It will be something like the NDA under Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, where Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was prepared to park 370 Ram Janmabhoomi and Common Civil Code away, write them down, and then go for a common minimum program. Only then it worked. Now, the question is, will Narendra Modi be able to do that kind of a deal with these people? Is he good at making deals, compromises, making them sit down and convince them or get convinced? Is it possible? Does he have that kind of a skill? Or does he have a team which can do that? He's used to riding roughshod. Whatever he wanted to do, he did it. And without consulting anybody. That was his history. Now, will he be able to change completely? This is one point. The second point is that the kind of demands that, especially from Bihar and Andhra Pradesh and other allies, would put before the Prime Minister designate, in terms of portfolios, in terms of the number of ministries and number of ministers, and then corporations, directors, chairmen, governorships, so many other things. Will the BJP under Mr. Modi be able to do that kind of a business? If they can't, then it will be very difficult for Mr. Modi to pass the floor test.
It's a very very harsh thing you are saying, because today only, when the NDA meeting happened, the two of the tallest leader in alliance, Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar, they both had praised Mr. Modi. And when Chandrababu Naidu had gone to the extent of saying that he is the right leader at the right time and he will take India at the global level, Nitish Kumar has even said that in the next election, opposition will not be in a position to win a single seat. Now, the issue is, when they are so closely aligned with Mr. Modi and a part of the alliance and being fulsome in the praise, why will they not support him on the floor of the House?
Ashutosh, I'm not saying that they won't support. The point is, you see, you have seen politics quite a lot, and I've seen also a bit of politics. what people talk in public forums and what they really harbor in their minds could be very, very different. And the same Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, the same Mr. Nitish Kumar have heaped so much of criticism on Mr. Narendra Modi not very long ago.
Hmm, hmm,
Hey, remember, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu's Telugu Party was part of NDA till 2018, and when
hmm,
they walked out, the kind of criticism, the kind of protests throughout the country, throughout the state, even in Delhi, what kind of criticism that Mr. Naidu has leveled against, and what kind of a criticism Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Shah had leveled against Mr. Chandrababu Naidu and his son.
hmm, hmm,
People don't forget those things. So don't go by what they say in a public forum. They might be very effusive because it's an occasion and all that. That's a different thing. But when it comes to for politicians, Ashutoshji, when it
hmm,
comes to, they're all, see, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu and Mr. Nitish Kumar, both of them are very seasoned politicians.
hmm,
They are hard-nosed politicians. They have seen both victories and defeats. They're good at bargaining. They're so seasoned. They know when to attack, they know when to withdraw, they know when to stand still, and when to bargain, when to leave the bargain. They know all these kind of things. So just don't go by that. And after all this ceremony is over, when people sit down and say, look, this is what I want, are you prepared to give these things to me? When it comes to hard bargaining, I do not think either Mr. Chandrababu Naidu or Mr. Nitish Kumar or any other partner in the alliance would just, very generously give away everything and say, they say that, we are all for nation building. I don't think that's going to happen. They would like to extract their pound of flesh. And especially when they know that the government's fate is dependent on their numbers, their
hmm.
being with them. So I don't think it's so easy.
But Mr. Modi is again a pragmatic politician. Yes, it is true that he hasn't run a single coalition government. All three governments in Gujarat, he had an absolute majority. In 2014, 2019, an absolute majority. His government was not dependent on any of the allies. First time it depends on the allies, but he's a practicing politician. He's born and brought up in politics. He knows politics in and out. He has seen Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He has interacted with Lal Krishna Advani. He also knows that since his government doesn't have a majority, so he has to appease to the demands of these politicians. And so, why should he not accommodate and adjust with their whims and fancies?
So, if he's prepared to accommodate, then well and good. But my question is this: suppose if all the demands are accommodated, and demands are not going to be static, Ashutoshji,
Hmm.
they are going to be renewed, added, they are insatiable. The list is going to grow longer and longer. It could be, a special category status. It could be Polavaram for Andhra Pradesh and separate railway zone and metros for a couple of cities and, Amaravati, the new capital for Nitish Babu. It could be again a special package and something else and something else. All these things are going to be there. And then where would it stop? And you very, very well said that, Mr. Modi has not, I mean, you said he has not run a coalition government. But I would go to the extent of saying that he has not run even a party government. It was his government,
Okay.
whether it was in Gandhinagar or in Delhi. He did not have to go to any party boss and say, look, this is what I'm going to do. Can I do it? It is never happened, that kind of a thing. Therefore, in order for Mr. Modi to completely change inside out and reinvent himself and almost become like Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, if you think it is conceivable, it is practical for him, maybe. But I see a lot of difficulty in that. And I see that this government, if at all it somehow survives the confidence motion, it's
Hmm.
going to be very bumpy ride. It is going to be every day life and death question for Mr. Narendra Modi's government, if at all it happens.
Hmm. Hmm. So you expect that this government will have lot more turmoil than people are expecting. All this praise, mutual praise to each other, is just for the pictures, just for the videos, not in practice. And you have said, and very rightly said, that these are the seasoned politicians, the wily politicians, and they will have their pound of flesh. And obviously, why not? And they are known to change sides, because Chandrababu Naidu has also changed side from United Front to the Atal Bihari Vajpayee to Modi again. It was he who, for the first time, demanded that Mr. Modi should resign after the Gujarat riots. And it is Nitish Kumar who, in 2013, has said that he will not accept Narendra Modi as a prime ministerial candidate, and has pulled his relationship with BJP. But since then, a lot of has changed in politics. Narendra Modi is a kind of a colossus figure, immensely popular still, despite not getting majority. So, do you think who will be more dangerous for Modi, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu or Nitish Kumar?
You know, I don't think either Chandrababu Naidu or Mr. Nitish Kumar would target Modi like that. I don't think it's going to be danger in that sense. The danger in the sense of, if Mr. Narendra Modi every day morning wakes up and then looks at the list of demands and fulfills one after the other, and then in the afternoon there's another sheet of demands and he fulfills them. In the evening before going to bed, another demand, another list of demand, fulfills that. In the morning he gets up and says, what is left over from yesterday, let us fulfill them. That would he be comfortable with that kind of a daily routine? That's number one. Number two, what is Narendra Modi going to do being a prime minister, sitting in the prime minister's chair after having been prime minister for 10 years, the way he wanted to be? Not being able to do NRC, not being able to do CAA, not being able to do Gyanavapi, not being able to do Mathura, not being able to do many other things. What's he going to do there? Why is he going to be there? Would he like to be there? Would he like to just hang on like other prime ministers or any other person? I doubt that. This is one. The second thing is, the danger, I think, is going to come from one more. Before I go to that, I just wanted to raise this issue. You said, is a colossus. These are all politicians. They are grassroots politicians. They know when a person is cut to size. Now, do you think the allies still consider Mr. Narendra Modi as a colossus? I can hardly believe that. If he is not a colossus anymore, if I know that he is not a colossus anymore, they would know it 1,000 times more and thousand times better. They would have just read the verdict of the people, what it really meant. They're not naive. They're not babies. They're not bachas. They have know everything. They're very, very seasoned. They're experienced people. One. And secondly, I think if at all there is a threat, when the going gets very difficult, Ashutosh, when the BJP other senior leaders, they would also have read the verdict. Now what is Mr. Narendra Modi and what is his strength? Now imagine, I've seen some time ago a footage in which on a platform Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Rajnath Singh were there, and people wanted to garland Mr. Narendra Modi, and Mr. Rajnath Singh was quietly asked to leave and step aside. Do you conceive that kind of a thing to happen when Mr. Narendra Modi stands and on either side Mr. Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar stands and they were ushered away? Is it possible? It's not possible. So that kind of a thing is over. So let's be reconciled to that one. And then the other seasoned leaders within BJP, instead of sacrificing the government and sacrificing all this kind of a thing just to have Narendra Modi as the prime minister, would one day quietly ask him to please step aside, retire gracefully, so that the Gathbandhan can go, the BJP can go, we don't have to sacrifice the government. Or it could come even from the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. So enemy, or who is going to target and who is going to be a danger, don't think it's either Mr. Chandrababu Naidu or Mr. Nitish Kumar. It could be from within the party. It could be from the RSS also.
So you are saying that there can be a serious threat from the within itself, from the party itself. Some senior leader can stand up and say, uh, "We have to save the government." And to save the government, if Mr. Prime Minister, you have to sacrifice your post, then you please do that. I can understand. I can understand that there's a possibility, but let me uh, have a different argument altogether. Why not Mr. Narendra Modi in coming months or weeks' time try to gobble up all the alliance partners? Because the way he tried and he did successfully with Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray, the Sharad Pawar's NCP, and where the numbers were much bigger. Here the numbers are smaller. 12 MPs from the Janata Dal United, 16 from Chandrababu Naidu, 5 from Chirag Paswan, and this makes up 33 MPs. And if these 33 MPs becomes a part of the BJP, immerse themselves in the BJP, then obviously Mr. Narendra Modi will have the BJP will have the majority on its own. It doesn't need to depend on support from any other else. Do you see that possibility happening?
Ashutosh, just I would like to say something about that. Just before that, just a small comment. When Mrs. Thatcher was the Prime Minister, she used to be considered as the strongest and iron lady. Even she was asked to gracefully step down. For a very small reason. Things happen. In politics, anything is possible. That is one. The second one, of course, Mr. Narendra Modi and the BJP and Mr. Narendra Modi's colleagues will try to break parties. Will try to, take over the other MPs and make them join their own parties. It happened earlier with Ms. Chandrababu Naidu's party also. In 2018 or 19, I think the Rajya Sabha members were completely taken over by, they all joined BJP. BJP has taken over them. That's also possible. I'm not saying, but, that process could become easy if Ms. Narendra Modi is in an unchallenged position and BJP were to be in power on its own steam. But a shaky government, depending on 3 or 4 allies, big allies, and many other parties, that dispensation trying to break other parties is not easy. And having had that kind of an experience before, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu and Mr. Nitish Kumar and all other parties, including Shiv Sena and other people, will be much more careful than they were before. So you see, we can talk about any possibility. We can talk about sky falling also. But the point is, what is probable? What is in the realm of possibility? To me, breaking other parties like Telugu Desam Party or JDU or Shiv Sena and other things, now in this context, being a weak prime minister, dependent on other people, and not able to even have his own full cabinet according to his wish, not even able to allocate portfolios and departments according to his will and wish. That kind of a prime minister, for him to do this kind of operations is very, very difficult, very improbable.
What options are left with? What option he has?
You see, I would look at it this way, Ashutosh. I'm not prepared yet to speculate on what options he has left. I would start doing that only after he survives the vote of confidence.
Okay. You seem to be very skeptical. You seem to be very skeptical, doubtful, because 3 times you have said that we have to watch out the vote of confidence, and you have hinted that probably he will not be able to get the vote of confidence on the floor of the House, and the government might fall then. Are you saying that?
I won't be surprised if he is not able to pass the confidence vote. I won't be surprised. I'm not saying that he will not. He may, but then he passes, and then which means that, which indicates that he has agreed to consider each and every conceivable demand which you would see, and probably some more in future. So unless the present and also the future are mortgaged, I don't think it is possible for him to pass the floor test. That's one. Second thing is, there could be some suggestion that for the time being, until you pass the floor test, you just say hell yes to them, and then देखा जाएगा बाद में क्या होगा, क्या कर सकते, क्या नहीं कर सकते. That is one idea that people might put in his head, or anybody might think like that. But then, Ashutosh ji, if you promise something before the floor test and pass the floor test and then go back on those promises, the backlash will be much, much more severe. That will shake the government. So that way, the government will not survive even for the conceivable future also. Even if it is short-lived, suppose you give it 100 days, it won't be able to survive even 50 days if this is the kind of devious methods that they use. And hand in hand, if the main leaders of other parties also suspect that the Modi dispensation, he and his colleagues are trying to break their own parties and poach their own MPs, then the reaction will be much more, the backlash will be much more harsh.
Prabhakar ji, you are painting a very pessimistic picture for the government, and especially for the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. But he's known to survive crises. Like in Gujarat, when 2002 has happened, everybody predicted that he will be sacked, or because there was a lot of pressure on the then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. There was a pressure from the alliances, there was the pressure from the party, but he survived. In 2007, when everybody thought that he will not win elections, he again won elections. Everybody thought that the Prime Minister Modi, he may be popular in Gujarat, but he will not be acceptable outside Gujarat. But look what he did. So my submission is, what I think is that, do you think that Prime Minister can again surprise the whole nation by running successfully a coalition government? Though you are painting a very pessimistic picture about him, is that possibility can be ruled out?
No, I'm not ruling out any possibility. As I said, you see, you could be surprised either way. Either a fall can surprise you, or survival can surprise you. One more thing, since you termed my prognosis as pessimistic, let me push the envelope a bit more and give you a bit more pessimistic point of view. My prognosis, Ashutosh ji, is that 18th Lok Sabha, its longevity is under question. So
Okay.
even and that could be because Mr. Modi feels that he's done something or announced something, and say that the allies are not cooperating, so I do not want this kind of a thing, I'm going for an election. It could be that, or it could be that the government is not able to run, and there's a lot of indecisiveness, there's a lot of infighting, there's a lot of floor crossing and so many other things. Therefore, the government falls, and the house also falls. That's also a possibility.
So you are suggesting you are not ruling out the midterm poll?
Yes, I see that it is a very, very strong possibility.
And the initiative will come from the Prime Minister, because only the Prime Minister and the cabinet can go for the midterm poll, can dissolve the parliament and can ask President, and can go for the polls.
One could be the Prime Minister's choice. The other could be the Prime Minister is forced to do it. There's no other way.
So what do you think? He will be forced, or it will be his choice?
If you want me to bet, I would bet on that he would be forced. It won't be his choice.
Will be forced.
And then, of course, then you'd have to see who is going to be the Prime Minister to do that, whether it is Mr. Modi or somebody else.
Very interesting. But here is another counter argument, that Mr. Modi is considered to be Machiavellian. So he can foresee he can do something which we have not foreseen. He can come out with some kind of a trick which can shock the entire nation. And he can go to the public and say, we want people's verdict on this, and let's go to the poll. Because I do not have the power, and I don't have the support, and I don't have the mandate to make this a reality. That can be a possibility too. And then he might come back with the bigger majority.
In fact, if you just recall, that's precisely what I hinted at. If the Prime Minister chooses to dissolve, he might think of something and say, "Look, I'm not able to do with this kind of a coalition. Give me 400 par."
Yeah. The real 400 par.
Exactly, and you know what happened with 400 par.
Yeah.
So that is one. The other thing, Ashutosh ji, is you see, you're talking about he's a Machiavellian. He can he survived so many crises, and he might survive this crisis also. You said that, but you see, people like me go by what has been the uh, track record of a person or a politician or a leader, the past. In the sense, Mr. Modi, about 22 years from Gandhinagar to Delhi. I'm not saying that, he's not a clever politician. Of course, he's a clever politician, surely. But he is not somebody who can request people, please people, appease people, placate people, make them happy, and then get things done. It's not that. I have
Who
at
knows
least,
it? Who knows if he surprises everybody?
yeah. I mean, that's a different thing. I mean, I'm prepared for a surprise, and you're also prepared for a surprise. But you see, my point, what I'm trying to tell you is, whenever we make some kind of a forecast or a prognosis, we do it on the basis of something. Now, if suddenly what you do not know, what I do not know, probably what he himself does not know, if he comes up with something like that, if he eats a mango neither by cutting nor by without it is suddenly in a third way, I do not know, but either kaat ke ya choose ke. If it is not ke, not choose ke, and something third one, I do not know. Maybe you will be also surprised. So we are only seeing there are two possibilities. Which is the possibility? No, but if there is any third one, I do not know. But the point is this, Ashutosh. No, if you see the track record, he is not used to going and getting things cleared from anybody else, least of all his colleagues. And now suddenly, I feel, Mr. Modi has always been a wolf in a wolf's clothing. Suddenly, if you start imagining him as a wolf in sheep's clothing, it's very difficult.
Very, 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 very interesting. But I have somehow, I don't have a feeling, but what I could assess from the past, because he's one politician who hasn't lost a single election. He's one politician whom, if in 1998 or 1991, 99, if anybody had said that this man is going to be the prime minister and he will win majority on its own, not once but twice, and even the third consecutive time he'll be the prime minister, everybody would have told that man that you are an idiot of the first order. So he was that unassuming at that point of time. And even when he was asked to go to the Gujarat and become the chief minister, nobody had given him any chance that this man will survive. But then he survived. He survived not once, but twice, but thrice. And probably after Nehru, he's the most successful politician, because never lost an election, 3 times chief minister, 3rd time prime minister. What more we expect from a politician? So that means he must have some ace under his sleeve. And I'm not ruling out that possibility too. So, but here let's ask a different question. The different question is, suppose if he is asked to resign, to save the government, to save the party, who can be the person within the BJP who can replace him?
Let me make a brief comment on the first part of your comment. You see, if you assume that, so far he has not lost an election, therefore he is going to be invincible. I mean, but to me, it's not logical. Okay. Another thing is, look back. If you go into history, Miss Abraham Lincoln, before he won the presidential race, did not win a single election, and he contested many elections. So anything can happen. You just can't, extrapolate what happened yesterday to tomorrow.
No, I'm not saying. Sorry to interrupt. I'm not saying that he can't lose an election. He's also human, like any other
Yes.
person, like any other politician. So losing and winning election is always a 50-50 possibility. That even if there is a 1% possibility, it is 50% possibility. So I'm not saying that he can't lose an election, but I'm only saying it that he's an exceptional politician, and he's such an exceptional politician that since he became the chief minister, he hasn't lost a single election. Probably in the sixth attempt, he's not having the majority on its own. So he must have some exceptional political acumen. And why are we ruling out that he will not show that political acumen when he is running a coalition government? He can again surprise people. That's only my minimum argument.
Yeah, I completely understand that point of view. I'm not saying that he can't surprise people. As I said, he can surprise himself. He can invent a third way of eating a mango also. We can't do it.
That's a very interesting argument. I'm very amused with that argument.
See, but then who can be a substitute for Mr. Narendra Modi from within BJP? I have nobody in mind. But what I can tell you is, until, as you said, if in 90s somebody said, Mr. Narendra Modi would become prime minister, everybody would have, thought it's just
Laughed
not
at.
possible. Yeah. So there could be anybody within the party whom you and I and many people would not even imagine that that person could be the prime minister. Could be the prime minister. Ms. Devgowda became prime minister. Ms. Narasimha Rao became prime minister. Ms. Gujral became prime minister. Who on earth thought ever Ms. Narasimha Rao, Gujral and Devgowda could become one day prime ministers?
And not Manmohan Singh.
Yeah,
not once but twice.
Yes, exactly. So therefore, these things, you just can't imagine. One, but the thing is this. The thing is that if at all the reason why why it would become unsustainable for Mr. Narendra Modi to run a coalition government, qualities exactly opposite of those qualities. Somebody who is flexible, somebody who can make deals, somebody who can compromise, somebody who can be accessible, somebody who can give and take, will emerge.
But one thing which goes with Mr. Modi is that he has the capability to win elections. If anybody who replaces him, what is the possibility that that person can win elections for the BJP? The second point is that why the BJP would not like to, in that scenario, would not like to sit in the position and let the India form the government and let him shoot in the feet.
True. You see, I don't think BJP or NDA partners and NDA alliance would let the opportunity to form the government and be in the government and run the government for full 5 years to slip away. They will not do that. People don't lose power because they want to lose power. People don't lose governments because they're negligent or they're casual about it. Societal historical forces work in such a way that suddenly one day things are not under your control. Haven't you seen that kind of a thing? Did you ever, those days, did anybody ever think that Mrs. Gandhi herself would lose her own constituency? Things happen. And against whom?
So don't go that far. Even 3 months back, who thought that the BJP will not get majority on its own? Exactly. On 22nd January, on 22nd January, when the consecration of the Ram Mandir happened, everybody thought that this election is a cakewalk for the BJP. Mr. Modi will come back with more than 300 seats. But after the first phase of election, after the first phase election, the Prime Minister was struggling, the BJP was struggling, and finally, the prognosis and the predictions of the alternate media. I'm not talking about the government media. I'm not talking about the mainstream media. That he will find it difficult to get the majority, and this is exactly what has happened. So I understand what you are saying, but let's wrap it up. My last question is: so how much time you want to give to this government till the floor test, or beyond that?
Initially till the flow test. Once the flow test is crossed, to me it's only 50-50 or even less than 50% chance. Once it somehow is crossed, it's every day it's a crisis for the government. Not in an outward crisis that things are screaming headlines and that kind of a thing, that something is falling, something is, no, it's not that. But how every hour, it's an hour to hour basis, day to day basis, it's an existential issue and question for the government, whoever heads it.
Thank you, Prabhakar ji. It's very, very interesting and engrossing conversation which we had, and let's hope. I'm not here to predict anything. I'm not here to say anything, but I can only say that we are heading for a very, very interesting time, and the days in politics is going to be very, very interesting. And let's watch that how this is unfolding. Thank you so much for being on satyahindi.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashutosh.